So all the time I get people asking how to transition from a normal Western diet over to the mucusless diet. And the reason that you would need to transition is because if you were to eat nothing but mucusless food, which is predominantly fruit, number one, you would get really bored really quickly. Because if I told you right now, if you're eating a normal diet, to eat nothing but watermelon and oranges, you're going to think, I don't want to do that. That sounds boring. I get that. So, and number two is that it will detox you way too quickly. And if that happens, you're just going to be uncomfortable. So what you need to do is transition. And the way that you do that is with carbohydrate. Because you have to understand the problem is oils and fats. If you have oils and fats inside your body, then you're not going to be able to process the fruit and the sugar properly. And your body's a water system. And what's the first thing they teach you in science at school? It's that oil and water don't mix, fats and oils don't mix. And that's basically the crux of the issue. It's when you've got fats and oils in your body, it's gunking up the system, and it's like putting diesel in a petrol engine. And so what you need to do is get the oils and fats out of your body and transition over to the healthy, clean eating foods, which are fruit and mucusless foods. And you do that with carbohydrate. So you do that with bread, pasta, rice, sugar, fruit, juices. And I know how counterintuitive that sounds, but you have to do it without fat and oil. So most people have never had a piece of bread without some sort of fat in it in their life. Most people have never had pasta without some sort of fatty sauce in their life. So if you have those things without the fat, so you can use things like tomato sauce, fat-free, like oil-free, you can make it or find it. Or you can use even stuff like ketchup, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, jalapenos. All of these things don't have fat in them. And those foods might not necessarily be ideal, but if you're coming from the standard diet, because most people have this attitude, they're like, they tend to think, I'm going to be healthy now, I have to be perfect. That's not how it works. You can't just go from there to there. There's too much of a disconnect. The body needs to catch up with the transition. And so if you eat carbohydrate, I'm talking zero fat. You have to be zero oil, zero fat. Not less fat and more carbs. I mean all carbs and no fat whatsoever. Like zero. And if you do that, that will transition you and you'll have fun. You'll notice you have more energy, you'll notice your digestion works better because it's not the carbs that are the problem. And I can give you an example of this. If you have a plate of food and you cook a bunch of deep fried stuff on it, like, I don't know, some fries or whatever, and some cheese, and you put it on a plate and then you eat that food and go and clean that plate, it's quite hard to clean and the fat gets all on the sponge and the cloth and you have to rinse the water over it and the water and the oil don't mix. And then you get the fat in the sink and it doesn't really mix with the water and it's quite annoying. But if you did that same thing with a piece of sourdough bread and some salad and some potatoes, because potatoes are a carb, then imagine cleaning that plate in the sink. You wouldn't even have to wipe it. You would just literally run the water over it and it would be clean. And it's the same principle with your body. Your body's a water system. Your blood is water, everything's liquids and fluids. And so if you eat nothing but carbohydrates, it's so easy for your body to process those that as you do that, you're going to feel that you have more energy, your brain's going to work better, and your body's going to start removing on its own the fats and the oils because you're not going to be putting them in. And as that happens, you'll start to notice that you start getting more thirsty and you start craving more sweet and sugary stuff. And that's when you start having the fruits and the juices. And that will replace the water inside your body and allow you to renew yourself. And that's the process. You want to transition. A lot of people message me and say, hey, I started eating fruit and I've got all these symptoms. It's like, yeah, because you tried to go from there to there. You tried to go from the beginning all the way to like late game. Do you know what I mean? But you really do need to have that progression with the transition. So it's carbohydrate, that's the key. Eat nothing but carbohydrate. And you'll see exactly what I mean. Within one day, you're going to notice an improvement. One day, eat nothing but carbs for one day and you'll already be able to tell that it's the thing to do. So bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, fruit, sugar, juices, honey, jam, all that kind of thing. Anything you can find that doesn't have fat in it. Go to the supermarket, say to yourself, right, the only rule here is no fat, and see what you can find. And if you do that, I promise you, you're going to feel way better and you won't have those uncomfortable symptoms as you transition towards the ideal.